U.S. forces were conducting an advise and assist mission, as they call it, alongside members of the Somali National Army about, near Barai, about 40 miles west of Mogadishu. And U.S. African Command added, and a Somali intelligence official confirmed the U.S. military operation to the Associated Press, saying that U.S. forces and helicopters raided an al-Shabaab hideout near the Somali capital yesterday and engaged pretty much the fighters there. So it was a big firefight, big display. Again, a U.S. Navy SEAL killed. Very, very sad, folks. We need to pray continually for our military, for protection upon them. There's stuff going on all over the place. And, man, it's just tense out there, folks. It's tense. It really is. By the way, speaking of tense times, during our summer station campaign where we're raising money to get that thermometer up at forthepeopleshow.com. You can see our progress, by the way. If you haven't been there, go today. Take a look at it. See what you can do to help. forthepeopleshow.com. But we're going to have some survival guide manuals that Chuck put together. And I'm so sincere about this. The Pentagon is warning and has warned and has said that, ISIS is conspiring to do some of the biggest terrorist attacks here in this country. And they're here conspiring to bring down our power grid and our computer systems, everything. And I tell you, if you don't know how to survive without electricity, you're going to want to get this book. And I'm going to be making these available next week for a donation and shipping and handling. And by the way, the individual that won, congratulations, the news report, it was like $30 or $40 to ship that book. My goodness, and like $20 for the coffee. It's just ridiculous shipping. So I'm going to have to factor in all these costs just to properly make sure that the item gets to, because if you send it media mail, it could take 2 months. Do you know that? Up to 2 months. So he'll get it in 3 days, 4 days. I'm going to have to start really thinking about shipping and handling and the amount of people that sign up, because we lost, honestly, to goodness, money on that big time because we didn't sell as many tickets as we should have, could have, very limited. And I wish more people participated, but he was a longtime fan, longtime listener, and I know he's going to enjoy it. So we're really pleased that he was able to get it. And if you signed up and you didn't get it, sorry, but another opportunity with this eagle. People have been asking about what this eagle is. And it's something that I cleaned up that was ready for the scrapyard, so to speak. But it used to hang in Chuck's studio for years when he did the TV show. And I had to derust it and clean it up. But it's beautiful. But it was appeared in tens, probably 1 million homes saw it. The For the People eagle. It's gorgeous. And it was custom made. And when you see this, you're gonna want it. It's such a beautiful piece, and it cleaned up very, very nicely. And it was a good labor. But that is a great auction item. If you've ever seen one, you're really gonna like this. But the survival guide books are great, and they're not for sale on Amazon. This is like the last work, other than Will We Ever Learn, that's available on Amazon that you can buy. But the survival guide you want to get, because if you don't have a plan to take care, and I'm not talking about just a few cans of food. We're talking about literally surviving the inevitable things that could happen. And, power outage could be, as some people put it, the heart attack of America, where it literally could bring us down to our knees and very quickly. And there could be power outages for some places, from what we understand, 18 months. It could be that long until power could be established. And a lot of people could just literally die from that, and martial law would be instituted. It just would not be a good thing. But things that you can do to prepare yourself and your family so you can survive anything other than a nuke war. Now, if you're down far enough into the ground, I understand you can survive it. People have shelters, but this was very well thought out. I actually worked with Chuck on this project. We tested everything, put it through the test to make sure that all this stuff worked. Researched, you're going to love it, and it's the last book that Chuck put out, and I happen to have some in my trunk and very limited supply. So when we put a price tag on it next week, you're going to want to have one of these. And I'm not trying to do it to scare you. It's just, folks, when you read the newspapers and you hear the news, everybody kind of knows that the times we live, we have terrorist that want to kill us. They want to destroy us, and they're very sophisticated. But to bring down our power grid, folks, they're on computers. The power grids are on computers, and they're studying us like none other, and they're just thinking of opportune ways to be able to achieve this. Now, if you don't think that this is true, and you think that I'm kidding, well, longtime newsman Ted Koppel wrote a book not too long ago, and you can check it out, New York Times bestseller, called Lights Out. Ted Koppel, yeah, the respected newsman of ABC. Lights Out. It's a book about our power grid going down. And the numbers that I mentioned, folks, will be a lot more. So, folks, the Survival Guide Bundle is something you want. You want to be listening for that next week to be able to get yourself one of these. Yeah, a lot of people are doing survival. I've heard of some talk shows doing it. Chuck got them beat. Can I say that? Chuck got them beat. That might be Southern, because we're down in, we're in Tampa, Florida, okay? We get away with some of these things, right? You're going to love the book, and I really enjoyed testing a lot of this stuff out to make sure it works. But, it's got to work. You got to eat. You got to stay warm. You got to know about solar panels and in batteries, how batteries work with solar, how you can actually have your appliances, and how to charge these things up, how to place them, how to clean them, how to repair them, all that stuff. And where to get the stuff, and on a shoestring budget. You say, I'm on a fixed income. We know a lot of people are. We don't have a lot of money. You might feel like you're on a fixed income. We're all on a budget. This book, actually, you can do it on a shoestring budget. You can be creative. And, it's more than vegetables, folks. There's a lot more to that. You got to have protein. You got to know how to set yourself up in the right way with medication. You got to think through all of this stuff. And maybe you're not a planner. That's why the book is good. Now, if you're a planner, you'll even love this book because it properly puts everything into perspective so you can get everything ready. And I'll tell you what, it's like insurance. If you have it, you feel so much better, right? Like if you get that rental car, anything happens, it's insured, it's okay, you're not responsible. This is your insurance plan, and trust me, folks, it's a beautiful thing when you have it, okay? So we'll tip you off, and there'll be information on the website, and we'll be talking about it more next week. But it's a serious thing. It's got me thinking a little bit more as things really start, honest to goodness, heating up around the world, folks. And ISIS is just looking for the time. Remember, they're here. Folks, they live amongst us, folks. They live here. They're not assimilating right. They don't like our culture, and they're just waiting for their marching orders. And they can strike it. They can do things like mow people down in a crowd. They can do that quick, or they can mow things into a power grid. They can crash things into a power grid. They can bring down the power grid so quickly. We don't want any of this stuff to happen, God forbid. But we have to talk about it because, folks, it's reality. Okay? It's reality. And that's what you'll get, a good dose of common sense. But we try to explain it in a real way that you understand, and not to scare you, but to prepare you. Does that make any sense? More For the People right around the corner. Our website is forthepeopleshow.com. Log on today. You're not going to believe this story with American Airlines and Delta. More airlines in the news.
It's unlike anything you've ever been through in your life, man. I was driving. This kid threw a grenade at us and went right over our vehicle. It was 12 years old.
The shockwave went through my head, rattled up my brain, and left.
Danger is around you 360 degrees at all times, and you can't unlearn that.
It's impossible to describe the sacrifices these men and women have made to protect our freedoms. And the job of rebuilding their lives is massive and growing every day. Many will need the programs offered by the Wounded Warrior Project for years to come.
I didn't know what PTSD was. All I knew was I was having nightmares. And when I got released, my reintegration was go check in at the VA, man.
My first coping mechanism was use drugs. Just numb it. Don't feel anything.
I was angry. I'm trying to pull myself out of that right now.
Your gift today of $19 per month will honor and empower these veterans so they can aid and assist each other.
The Wounded Warrior Project is a life raft.
I can say this without question that I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for it.
Wounded Warrior Project is the first step, getting back out into the world and reforming yourself outside of the service.
Call or go online with a pledge of $19 a month. You'll receive this Wounded Warrior Project blanket, and your gift will provide critically needed programs that rebuild lives.
That was my first feeling of actually being a part of something bigger than myself again.
Well, I lost a few really close friends overseas, and if I quit, I'm going to let them down, and I'm not about to do that.
I'm learning to face my fears head on. To trust and see what happens at the end.
It's a long process, but I had the drive and desire.
Please call or go online with your gift right now.
For the People is on the air for you Monday through Friday, giving you the information you need with the insight you deserve. Our mission is simple: to keep you informed without the jargon. We work hard to give you a quality program that makes a real difference in people's lives. Today, we're asking for your help. We would like to expand our on-air footprint throughout the U.S. Our goal of $5,000 will give us the ability to reach out to key decision makers and get us on more radio stations throughout the country. For the People is there for you daily. Will you help us reach our goal? $5,000 is our goal, and we can build this thing together. Let's get to work and grow For the People. Log on to forthepeopleshow.com. That's forthepeopleshow.com. You love the show. Now it's your turn to give back. We are counting on our friends. Help For the People now by logging on to forthepeopleshow.com. That's forthepeopleshow.com. The internet is a big place, but 123 Ready TV has made it easy to start enjoying all the current movies you enjoy and those movie classics. What if I told you that you could start streaming everything now and all the latest movies for just $19.99? And it's a one-time charge, not monthly. 123 Ready TV is a media app that you can have on your PC or your Android phone. You see, this app allows you to stream movies and TV shows, weather, and anything you already have on your PC or your phone or on the internet. Plus, no commercials. Find out why so many people are using this amazing media player. Start saving money and start enjoying all your favorite TV shows now and movies for just a one-time payment of $19.99. To get yours, go to forthepeopleshow.com. That's forthepeopleshow.com and click on the store page for your 123 Ready TV. Keith Allen on a Cinco de Mayo. And I'm just drinking Zephyr Hills water, okay? That's it. I'm telling you. I'm not telling you any lies. Listen, when you're doing a radio show, you can't be drinking. You got to be in your right mind, right? American Airlines, the next big story, but Delta Airlines in the story too. Let's start with Delta before American. Delta Airlines, okay? There's a family, all snug in their seats and been asked by a representative from Delta to please get off the seat, one of their seats, one of the four, and the father refused to get out of his seat. And then they proceeded, that being the flight attendant of Delta, saying that it was against FAA regulations. They weren't supposed to be, the kid was not supposed to be in the car seat, which actually is not true. It's actually their manual, and FAA regulations say the kid's safer in the car seat, strapped to the seat. But all this nonsense, but it went above that. It said, you know what, if you don't get off the plane right now, your kids are going to go in protective custody. Going to have the state take your kids. You're going to be arrested. You're all going, you're going to go to jail. And all this hogwash, all this crap. And there's people believing, I don't know what it is, that you have no rights when you go on a plane, which is simply not true. There actually is something called the Passenger Bill of Rights. Read it, understand it. Be informed, but you have rights, okay? You have rights. And understand them and what it is. So this is another one. Delta just paid out pretty nice sum to the family. They apologized, but now American. This is a big one. Now, maybe you've been aboard a plane. Now, I'll tell you what, I'm pretty, I don't want to say a big guy, but I'm not a tiny guy. I'm 6'2". I got dark hair, green eyes. All right, I'm